Quite often I get asked what would I recommend for a fountain pen. In a world full of Lamy Safaris and Platinum Preppies, Pilot Kakunos, Platinum Plaisirs, there is a whole plethora, cornucopia if you will, of choice. However, there is one brand out there which I feel doesn't get the recognition in which it deserves, and that is Faber Castell. Now, they are more commonly known for their stationery items and their art supplies than perhaps their fountain pens. But they have their luxury wing, which is Graphon Faber Castell, and they are quite highly regarded within the fountain pen community. Yet, the pen which we have before you today, which is the Faber Castell Grip, it doesn't really seem to get a lot of love or notice. In fact, the only person which I've noticed recently who's actually covered this pen was Doodlebud. And I'm bringing this pen to you for your attention today, primarily because I feel that sometimes trying to venture out of the confines of comfort is really important. Yes, granted, the Lamy Safari and the Platinum Preppy are excellent pens, and I would still highly recommend them as a first pen. But you know what? I think this may be a contender to compete. So, in this video, we're going to be having a close look at this pen. We'll go over the parts and features of it, and we'll talk about why this may be potentially underrated towards the end. So there's one particular element to this fountain pen which it makes it a real contender for an entry-level fountain pen. In fact, actually, just as a fountain pen on its own. And that is the grip section. Now, the grip section is slightly rubberized, and it is literally the most comfortable pen in my collection. You know, I've got pens which run into the thousands, and this still actually outperforms them in terms of comfort. And you know what? If you're after a writing instrument just as a tool, you really don't have to look any further than this fountain pen. On this particular one, we have got a broad nib, and we'll provide you a writing sample in a moment. But everything about this pen really screams comfort and ergonomics. So if you are after a pen, as I say, which you want to treat as an everyday carry, and you want to have a comfortable writing experience, maybe it's that the triangular grip section on the Lamy Safari isn't really up to your liking. Maybe the lightness of the Platinum Preppy just isn't your cup of tea, or you just don't like the demonstrator effect in which the barrels exhibit. This is a fantastic choice to make. So we'll just go over the aspects of this pen. It's practical. We've got a snap cap, comes off very easily. Nib is quite small, but it's perfectly usable. We've got some quite nice engraving on the actual nib, and it is stamped rather than laser etched, which is lovely. Currently we've got a very short international cartridge in there, but it will accept longer cartridges and cartridge converters. And there is this sort of textured barrel as well, which feels quite tactile, to be quite honest. The clip fits into a shirt pocket with no problems whatsoever. And that's pretty much it. It is a very back to basic fountain pen. You know, it does what it actually says on the tin, and there's only just a little bit of branding on there as well. Overall, this pen really is quite sublime in terms of its simplicity. So let's go over and provide a writing sample, because I think this is where the pen really sings. So we're going to discuss the writing experience of this pen to start with, and then I'll talk a little bit about why I feel that this pen may possibly fly under the radar. Honestly, the writing experience of this is fantastic. There's a little bit of feedback to this broad nib, which is wonderful because I have been subjected to overly smooth broad nibs in the past, and to be honest, it feels like you're writing on glass and you don't have that level of control. Quite the opposite with this beautiful steel nib. You know, the design of the nib is beautiful. There's some lovely imprinting. You've got the jousting knights on there, so it gives a little bit of touch of class to the pen, and I really enjoy that. Yes, granted, the nib is very small, but does that really matter? You're spending about £20, and this really isn't here as a statement piece. You know, if you want that and that really matters to you, of course go with your Mont Blanc 149s, your Pelican M1000s, your King of Pen, and you won't be dissatisfied with any of those options. But this is a pure utilitarian workhorse of a fountain pen. This is a pen designed to get the job done, to get it done in comfort, and to do it well. I love the line variety which this pen offers. It has just the smidge of line variation as demonstrated in the writing sample, and it shows off the ink quality absolutely wonderfully. So now that leads me on to, why do I think that this pen is underrated? There could be some reasons. It could be price point, it could be just the general consensus is you buy a Preppy, a Kakuno, a Safari and call it a day. The other reason could well be the lack of colour options. This comes in, I believe, silver and black. There may be some other editions which I don't know of, and please do let me know in the comment section below if I am incorrect. But in my initial research, they don't come in a huge amount of colour variants, and that might be part of the issue. You see, what a lot of people in the fountain pen community love is options and choice. Silver and black doesn't necessarily do it for everyone. Unlike the stationery market, where they probably buy them from the utilitarian aspects, but really buying it more for the sort of love and the colour which the actual pens provide rather than the design of the pen. Fountain pen users are a discerning crowd. They're a little bit more picky and they want to have colour options. They want to have their swirly acrylics, they want to have their urushi finishes, they want to have metal pieces with beautiful engraving. And this is very, very simple. There's nothing wrong with simplicity. I adore it. The Lamy 2000 is certainly one of my favourite fountain pens, and to be honest, it's not too dissimilar to this in terms of its simplicity. You know, you've got this sort of textured section here which just gives the pen a little bit more interest and tactile feeling. You know, this is called the grip, and even the barrel was quite grippy, so I guess it's to really further emphasise on the naming convention of this fountain pen. But you know what, the real star of the show is this grip section. It really honestly is. I've said it before, it's so comfortable and it beats pretty much every single pen in my collection. Even pens, as mentioned before, which run into the thousands. I don't mind reiterating this point. If you're after a fountain pen that's comfortable, has incredible performance, it gets the job done, look no further than the grip. I'm not being paid to say this. Faber Castell has not sponsored me, although I wouldn't mind a few pens. But honestly, you'd be hard pressed to find a better steel nib in this price point. Now, of course, you know, the Preppy and the Safari have got their own unique traits too. Why I would potentially recommend them as well as a starter fountain pen. The Preppy is known to, keep its ink in a ready state for up to a year. And then of course with the Lamy Safari you've got colour options, you've got limited editions in various countries, and they're very collectible. Plus they're quite easy to service. You can take the nibs out, swap them over for fine, medium, broad, and 2 or 3 different stub nib options. So there's a lot going for that. But really, if you're after a fountain pen which just does it all, you're not too bothered about how many different nib grades there are, and you just want to get the job done, really honestly, just look no further than this fountain pen. You won't be disappointed. So I would be very interested to know, what are your recommendations for starter fountain pens? Are there any other starter brands which are flying under the radar which you think I should potentially review? Do leave those in the comment section below and I will consider those for future videos. So honestly, that will just about do it for today. I hope you enjoyed the content. I do hope you will consider going out and buying yourself a Faber Castell Grip to try. Okay, they might not be for everybody, but I think if a comfortable fountain pen is up your street, then again, please do check this one out. So now the only thing left for me to say is thank you for watching. Please do not forget to like, subscribe and share and comment down in the section below. Every comment, every like, every share, every subscription, it does help grow the channel, and I just want to be able to help spread the joy of fountain pens at the end of the day. So the more we feed the algorithm, the better it is for everybody. Okay, well that's it for today. So take care and goodbye for now.